class. In today's class, we'll be discussing about defects in specific building elements, the causes of these defects, and the remedies to the defects. Precisely, we'll be discussing defects in cladding, defects in windows, and defects in window frames. Defects in claddings. Claddings are coverings to building envelopes. Oftentimes, claddings are installed around the building envelope to enhance the aesthetics of the building. Cladding is a composite element that comprises of the cladding frames and the cladding panels. The panels could be of glass, it could be of aluminum boards, it could be of metal sheets, and so on and so forth. Predominant defects in cladding include displacement within the cladding frames, as well as cracks in cladding sheets or cladding panels. The likely causes or probable causes of these defects could be as a result of differential movement of the substrates or the cladding frames. It could be as a result of the use of poor or substandard materials during the construction of the cladding system, and it could be as a result of poor workmanship in the course of the cladding construction or installation. Differential movement of substrates in cladding would obviously result in the displacement of the subframes, while the use of substandard materials or poor materials could result in either displacement of cladding subframes or in cracks of cladding panels such as glass, or in both displacement and cracks altogether. It is important to state that the construction industry, as it were, within our local vicinity, is highly porous, and there are several substandard materials in the market. So it is important that the quality of cladding systems can be achieved or can only be achieved by using quality and standard materials. Poor workmanship could also result in premature failure of some sections of the cladding installation or in cracks on the cladding panels. For example, the tolerance of glass to movement is very low. So if the substrate upon which the glass is fixed moves significantly, it could lead to the glass cracking or shattering. So for these defects in cladding, depending on the magnitude of the defect or the severity of the defect, These defects can be remedied by repairing defective section within the cladding system or by outright replacement of the entire defective cladding system. Windows. Defect in windows. Windows are openings on walls of buildings, and essentially they are created for several reasons, including admittance of ventilation and daylight into the building interior. Windows can be constructed of varieties of materials, and depending on the type of material that is used in the construction of windows and the type of window, the defect also varies. However, predominant defects in windows includes broken or cracked glass panels, rust or corrosion in window frames, stiff or loosed hinges in windows, as well as worn or worn out locking devices and components. As I mentioned earlier, the probable causes of these defects or defects in windows is a function of the material with which the window is constructed. However, windows can become defective due to the effect of use and misuse by the building occupants or building users. Also, windows can become defective as a result of poor or substandard materials being used to construct the windows. Poor workmanship can also result in defects in windows. Also, the environmental condition around the windows can also influence or bring about defects in the window. For example, a steel window that is installed where there is presence of moisture or water would corrode prematurely because the ingress of water or the contact of water with the metallic part of the window will result in corrosion of the metal that is usually or always damp or wet. Also, a window with heavy impact or mechanical impact, for example, the slamming or jamming of windows could result in cracked or broken glass panels within the window element. Some of the remedies to defects in windows includes replacement of the broken or cracked glass panels if the defect relates to broken or cracked glass panels. For defects relating to corrosion in steel windows, regular repainting of the steel elements of the window or steel section of the window with anti-corrosion paints or primers can be very helpful. Also, for hinges that become stiff, oiling or greasing of these hinges at regular interval or frequency would minimize the rate at which the hinges get stiffened. Window frames. Window frames refers to the frames or the member upon which the window is hanged. Window frames could also be of timber, aluminum, or steel. Depending on the type of material with which the window frame is constructed, a window frame that is constructed with wood or timber could have shrinkage problem or could warp, meaning that this wood or the timber may twist. A twisted window frame member is a defective window frame member. Also, wooden window frames could also rot. That is another defect that can occur in wooden window frames. In steel window frames, there could be corrosion or rust, and these defects are often caused by the use of substandard materials, ingress of water into the window area, physical or environmental impacts on the window frames, and in the case of rot, it could be as a result of insects and termite attack. Defective window frames can be remedied by outright replacement of the window frames. For the wooden window frame that is attacked by insects or termites, the defective section should be cut off and replaced with a fresh timber, while the entire wooden window frame is treated with anti-termite solution. For steel window frames that is corroding, regular repainting of such steel window frames with anti-corrosion paints or anti-rust paints or primer will go a long way in prolonging the service life of the steel window frame. So these essentially are some of the defects that are prevalent in wall claddings, windows, and window frames. Thank you for listening.